So I recommend a low reverse billet servo. And the servo comes with three pieces. It comes with this very nice one-piece servo. It's not a multi-piece. A heavy-duty spring to shut off the first gear band to give you a clean 1-2 shift, and then the thicker retainer so you don't push the spring through the retainer. This could be a little bit of a challenge to replace in the car. If you're going to put a brake in or a valve body, you might as well just do a quick freshen and do it on a bench. However, you can do this in the car by pulling the tail housing off and pull the pin out. It's a pain in the butt, but you can do it. So, low reverse billet servo, because both are all my valve bodies have low band apply. The one thing I forgot to talk to you about on both for the trans brake and the reverse manual is, I hope you can see this clearly. I milled this section out, and a lot of people do. You mill this out, and if you chuck it up in the mill and you put your end mill in there and you cut it, I go down about 200 thousandths. If you don't have an end mill, and you're good with a wheel cutter, some kind of grinder to get in there with a real skinny wheel, you can open that up. Either way, you're given this is third gear oil feed, and it's also for the trans brake. You get that bathtub effect. It really works good. And since we're talking about stators, I thought I'd touch real quick on Teflon rings. The steel rings that come in the seal kits under high pressure, anything over 100 and probably 150 or higher, are going to wear, and they're going to wear quick. If you put Teflon sealing rings on here, they basically last a really long time. The only time I ever seen bad Teflon sealing rings is somehow or another they blow out or something, and that's not a very common thing. But what I want to show you is the reason why a lot of people don't like using these is because they air check worth of shit. And there's a couple tricks to making them air check. So what I do is I take the Teflon ring and I curl it down to about, I don't know, half the size. I just hold it for a couple seconds, and then I put it on the stator, and I always put it on dry. I never add no lube. I don't add no trans gel, no tranny fluid, no nothing. And then I do the same thing to the other one. Put it on and put it on dry. Now, the way a Teflon ring works, it doesn't apply air to the drum until the air or the fluid gets behind the ring and pushes it out. If you're air checking it, that's the same thing. The air, when you're air checking, or the oil when it's in the vehicle, has to get in between the ring and come out a little bit for this to apply good. So another trick you can do is put the steel rings on there, put your front drum on there, air check it, make sure you're there. I also air check it and check the clearance with the dial indicator at the same time. Air check it, and if it's good air checking, you didn't rip those seals, then just put the Teflon rings on and leave them on, and don't air check it again until the transmission's assembled and you air check it through the case. Sometimes when you put the drum on here and you're air checking it, it can pop up and the rings pop out. So it's a pretty easy way to keep the rings on there by doing it that way. What else could I touch base on real quick? What did I forget? What did I forget? Tell me. I'll go over a few things real quick of what I got here. On all my trans brakes and my reverse menu valve bodies, I run 4-2 levers. I have them billet or cast. On my diesels, I run a billet band anchor. They seem to break on diesels and not on gas. I don't know why. Heavy duty band struts, always a great idea, even if you just have a shift kitted transmission. The billet servo is an absolute must. Every time I sell a valve body, I sell a servo. As far as fluids concerned, a lot of people call me at the shop and ask me what fluid to use. that B&M trick shift stuff's pretty good. I personally like Pennzoil, Dextron 2, or a Mercon. I'm not a Tap F guy. I know a lot of people have been using it. If you've been using it, good luck, that's fine. I'm just not a Type F guy. The one more thing I'm going to show you before I go, because I'm babbling like an idiot. I do hope you get some use out of this video. And if I forgot something, just put it down in the comments. I'll read them and I'll answer your questions. And if you like this video and you're a Mopar guy, click subscribe. If you're a Chevy guy, jump off a cliff. Nah, I'm only kidding. This baby right here, check this baby out. This is my Pro Competition trans brake for, well, it could be for gas or diesel. But this one's for diesel. It is a reverse manual valve body. And it's got 2 solenoids on here. The bottom solenoid's for a trans brake, and the top solenoid's for the lockup. So it allows me to run a very large volume of fluid to the lockup valve, which is now I call this a lockup valve, to apply the switch valve for a nice clean on-off apply for the clutch. And this one I usually set about 200 psi to 220 psi. We got the lockup all tweaked now. It's working really good. I got one both in my gas truck, my Mr. Haney truck, and my diesel truck. This, and I probably got, I don't know, 3,000 or 4,000 miles on the valve body, and I drive it every single day, and it works just great. I don't use a trans brake because it's a 4-wheel drive, daily driven. But the lockup works really good. And it shifts beautiful. It really is a good shifting valve body. Kind of proud of this little piece. My dad just barely saw some of the drawings and what I was doing before he passed, so he didn't get a chance to jump in a truck and drive it or nothing. But this is our Pro Comp. I really like it a lot, and I think you will too. Matter of fact, there's one more thing I want to make clear. If any of you guys are in my area or driving through my area, which is Northwest Indiana or the south of Chicago, and you want to test drive a transmission that has our product in it, has our drums and whatnot, or especially our valve bodies. I got a gas truck and a diesel truck. Both of them are 4 speeds, both of them have lockup. And if you want to drive it to see how it feels before you buy it, I welcome it. So if you're in the area and you can do that, that's great. If not, maybe I'll meet you at a show or something, UCC or a Mopar show. Be more than happy to let you drive my truck and see how you like it. So those are my valve body instructions for my trans brake and my reverse manual. A quick note, I'm also making a solenoid, a replacement solenoid for the grinder valve body that is going to be a direct bolt-on. What it is going to be my solenoid setup, which is going to be a Power Glide solenoid with my body, my valve, and spring that you can buy to replace his solenoid.